How much of the collaboration was in person versus sending back and forth files and emails or phone calls and versus actual coming into the studio and recording?
Yeah, it's a great question. Looking at the track list, Maguette, who is from Senegal, who lives in LA, he did the drums for Black Panther, and he's the guest feature on, where is it? Sorry, It's Most Wonderful Time of the Year. So that one we got to do in the studio in LA. He brought in all of his different drums, and Kevin and Matt and I were there just kind of working with him. And oh, what if you try this? What if you try this? And just putting a ton of different grooves down. And then after the fact, we kind of just move things around. So it was awesome to get to see him do his thing and work with him in the studio. Long Long recorded at Spotify Studio in LA, and I got to go work with him there, which was
Very
amazing,
cool.
on this incredible Steinway piano that they have there. That was super fun. I know Scott worked with Megan Trainor a lot for Kid on Christmas, and then Grace Lokwa from the Congo, he and his choir recorded there completely, sent tracks in. So we never got to meet him, but the tracks he sent were unbelievable. And his ad libs on that just make the whole track. Star on Top was one that Martin Johnston and Brandon Paddock produced that one. And so they worked with Pentatonix, and I kind of tracked some vocals after that, but that was mostly done in person. Prayers for This World, written by Diane Warren. I got to visit the string session of that, which was amazing. David Campbell did the string arrangement. So that was a lot in-person stuff. Hiba and the orchestra in Lebanon recorded completely on their own. We never got to meet them, unfortunately, but they just sent tracks in. Leia Salonga came to the studio in LA, and we recorded her, and that was amazing. She's such a sweetheart. La Santa Cecilia recorded with us in LA. Much fun. So it was Pepe Carlos on guitar, on lead guitar, Andy Abad on rhythm guitar, and La Marisol on vocals. So the three of them came to the studio, and we like put the arrangement together kind of in the room, which was really fun to kind of just vibe. And oh, what if you try this? What if we pull it back here? We had a basic structure, but a lot of it was just figuring out with them and making sure that, a lot of what they were playing was kind of true to the like bolero Mexican style, which was super fun. Shreya Ghoshal recorded her vocals from India, and then Toby Gad is LA based, and he recorded a lot of the Pentatonix vocals, as well as like the Sid Sriram vocals at the beginning. Hikakin and Seiken recorded from Japan. I never got to meet them. And then the King Singers recorded from the UK. So
Well,
it was a good mixture of, getting to work with a good number of the artists in person, and then a lot had to send their tracks in.
yeah, absolutely. And what I got from that, man, is how many different hats do you have to wear as the arranger and producer of some of the tracks? Like, man, going in and arranging the piano, or going, like all these different things, coming working with the orchestra or the strings or the guitars. There's so many different hats that are required, and just the thinking caps, and it's incredibly impressive on your part. So it's very cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I think, a key part of this is knowing when to step in and when to step back and let the people that know what they're doing
Mm.
do things better than you. I think that's like a key thing to keep in mind when you're overseeing a project like this, is just the sheer diversity of every track requires a different approach. King Singers, I pretty much, we had a quick session with Kevin and Matt and Scott, and we put some ideas down, and then I pretty much just arranged it. I kind of took those ideas and just did it myself. I think that's pretty much the only track that was like that. Pretty much all the other ones required a great deal of back and forth. Last Christmas was somewhat like that. We made some changes after we, heard the first mix. Scott was like, let's add this and this and this. Invincible. And then a lot of the more instrumental driven tracks and original tracks, I was less involved in. Kid on Christmas and Star on Top and Invincible. So those, I just kind of recorded vocals and did what I had to do, but they were finalized by the producers of those tracks. But yeah, it's every track required a
Yeah.
different approach, different setting, different amount of involvement. But I was kind of, making sure everything was happening.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's very impressive, for sure.